All right, let's look at study guide page 2. We're only going to do 14 and 15 at the top. So on number 14, you have the distributive property, the square root of 6 times 7 square roots of 3. So multiply the numbers on the outside. 1 times 7 is 7. And then multiply your radical. 6 times 3 is 18. Okay, and then you've got a positive and a positive. Now multiply the second one, the square root of 6 times 6. So 1 times 6 is 6, and then multiply it to the radical itself. Go ahead and simplify. Anything that will simplify. The square root of 9 is 3. So that'll give you 21 square roots of 2 plus 6 square roots of 6. And this is as simplified as that answer is going to get. Now let's distribute on this one. We have 3 times 5 is 15, and then 2 times 10 is 20. Positive times a negative is a negative. Now we're going to multiply 3 times 2, the numbers on the outside, the coefficients, to get 6. 2 times 6 is 12. Now let's simplify both of these. 20 is 4 times 5, so the square root of 4 is 2, giving me 15 times 2, which is 30 square roots of 5. Now this is 4 times 3. Now the square root of 4 is 2. So that's going to give me 6 times 2, which will give me negative 12 square roots of 3. Now since both of these radicals are different, I'm not able to add or subtract, so this is as simplified as we're going to get here. Now let's skip on down and look at number 18. So with number 18, I noticed right off the bat that 3 will go into 48 16 times evenly. So I'm going to go ahead and divide out my fraction. 3 will go into 48 16 times, giving me the square root of 16, which is 4. Okay, looking at this one, we can't divide, but we can reduce what's inside the radical. So if you think of 18 over 75, 18 and 75 are both divisible by 3. 3 will go into 18 6 times, and 3 will go into 75 25 times. So now I'm going to break this into a numerator and a denominator. As far as the square root of 6 goes, it will not simplify, so I'm going to leave it alone. The square root of 25 is 5. So this is my simplified answer. Looking at number 20, I'm going to take 6 and 2, and I'm going to reduce it by 2. 2 into 6 and 2 into 2. Now, looking at 56 over 63, both of these are actually divisible by 7. 7 into 56 and 7 into 63. So now I'm going to break it down into a numerator and a denominator. So I'm going to have 3 square roots of 8 over the square root of 9, which is 3. Now my 3's will cancel out into 1's, and so I'm simply left with the square root of 8, which will simplify. Okay, the square root of 4 is 2, giving me 2 square roots of 2. Okay, now on this one, this will not reduce or divide, so I'm going to break it in the square root of 12 over the square root of 5. You can't have a radical in the denominator, so we have to multiply by the radical over itself. And this is going to give me the square root of 60 over the square root of 25. Well, the square root of 25 is 5. Okay, so I'm now left with the square root of 60 over 5. Let's go down here and let's see if we can simplify the square root of 60. We have 10 times 6, which is 2 times 5, and 2 times 3. I can make a pair of 2's. Okay, so I'm going to bring the 2 out, and this 5 times 3, which is 15, it's going to stay under the radical. And this is my simplified answer. Okay, number 22, I can reduce 2/6 to 1/3, so I have 1 over 3 square roots of 2. Now I need to get rid of radical 2 from the denominator by multiplying radical 2 over radical 2. 1 times radical 2 is radical 2. Then I have my 3. Radical 2 times radical 2 is radical 4. We created a perfect square. Now we're going to pull it out. multiply the square root of 4, which is 2, to the 3, which is already out there, and we'll get the square root of 2 over 6. Let's reduce 4 into 4 and 4 into 20. That'll give me 5 square roots of 8 over the square root of 3. We can't reduce or divide, so let's go ahead and get rid of the square root of 3 over the square root of 3, and that'll get rid of our radical. 8 times 3 is 24. 3 times 3 is 9. Take the square root of 9, which is 3. Now let's go over here to the side, and we're going to take the square root of 24, and we're going to simplify it. Now the square root of 4 is 2, giving me 2 square roots of 6. Multiply that to the 5 that's already here, and we'll have 10 square roots of 6 over 3.